about Azure built-in roles. So RBAC. When I mean RBAC, I mean rule-based access control. Please note those four words. Rule-based access control. You understand? Or rule-based access control. That's it. The right word is rule-based access control. So, as for instance, when you have a school, is primary school or secondary school, a primary 5 teacher has access to primary 5 class and not to nursery 2. Please, do you get it? A principal or has access to virtually all the classes, same as the proprietor, but the proprietor has access to the school account, the principal may not have access to it. Do you get that little analogy I gave? It's just talk about everybody has his own access control, what I can do. Now, I'll talk about 3 components first thing. So you have service principal. Generally, we have talked about service principal initially. So in terms of service principal, you have user, you have group, and you have service principal itself. So what does that mean? A user can be given a role-based access control. A user like me, Ewuji John, can be given a role-based access control, meaning that I can be given a control to perform a particular action or not. A group also, which I explained initially, a group can be given an access control, meaning that you can have a virtual machine contributor group. The only thing they do in that group is to manage virtual machines and not any other resource. Do you get that concept? The other one again is we can give access control to service principal. We can say this service principal, the only thing this service principal can do is to access storage accounts. So we can give it storage accounts reader access to a service principal. That's the access control given to that service principal. The next thing again I want to talk about again is role definition. So role definition means that which kind of role is assigned to a particular person, a user, a group, or a service principal. Role definition. So we have different kind of role definition. So let me just glance through one of them for you. I'm picking this storage account. I want to show you guys something about it. Please, apologies for the little lag. So while this is opening, okay, so we have different types of different type of roles. So we have the owner role, we have the contributor, we have the reader role. You understand? So let me just give you a overview of it while I go in depth to it. So when you talk about owner means owner, quote and unquote. The owner of a car is the owner of a car. There's no different English for it. You understand? But in that car, we can have a reader. A reader, we can just give a reader, maybe somebody that just comes into the car, sits at the back seat. You understand? He's not sitting anywhere else, but the back seat means that he doesn't have anything to contribute to that car. His own portion in that car is to come inside the car, sit at the back, in the back seat. That can be a reader role. A reader role can just be somebody that just comes in, looks at the whole group and look at the whole group or look at the whole stuff and say, okay, the only thing I can do is that I can look at everybody that are here. I can see their faces. I can see that this one have a blue nose and this other person has a green nose. That's the only thing I can do. So that is just a kind of reader access, but the person cannot do anything different from that. A contributor access on the other side, a contributor access can say, okay, I am not the owner, but I have permission to do some things. A contributor can say at no, no, you don't sit down there, sit down in the other side. He can give an authority that that is given to him to give to perform. You understand? He can say, okay, this, like for instance, let me give for instance, I was talking about virtual machine contributor. A virtual machine contributor can say, okay, today this is the kind of virtual machine we'll be creating. I want this virtual machine to have another extra disk. A virtual machine contributor can do that. But a virtual machine contributor cannot go to a storage account and update a storage account. For instance, create a SAS token in a storage account. A virtual machine contributor cannot do that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So let me pick one of these resource and just show you what I mean by access control. Okay. So, good. So we have IAM access control. You understand? I want us to go to roles. Oh, sorry, nobody knows. Okay, no, let me just glance through this for you. So you have job, different kind of roles. You have thousands and thousands of roles. So don't bore yourself with it. Can you see it? 800 something roles. So don't bore yourself with knowing all those roles. You understand? So you now have something called job function role. For instance, this is a storage account. I have Mr. A is joining our unit today. I want him to do some things on this storage account. And the only thing I want him to do is that I want him to be able to read the storage account. I don't want him to update any other thing. Just be a reader of the storage account. Now, let me give you a job function. What I mean, direct job function, not storage account. Okay. So, for instance, I can say, okay, I want this guy to be a classic storage account contributor. Or I can say that the next thing, the only thing he can do is I'm trying to pick another this thing he can do. Okay, let me give him app compliance automation reader. You understand? That's what Mr. A can do. So that is the only function Mr. A can do in this storage account, for instance. And also we have another thing they call privileged administrator roles. You understand? In privileged administrator roles is what I was talking about initially when I was saying that the owner of a car, as an analogy, I can say, okay, does this person an owner rights? This is the explanation of an owner rights. Can you see? He can manage all resources, including our ability to assign roles to users. We can now say, okay, we have contributor role. This person can manage all resources, but does not allow access to assign roles to users. Can you see it? You can say, okay, I want to manage this virtual machine, but I can't say assign this role to so person in this virtual machine. No, I can only manage that virtual machine itself. That is a contributor access. Now we have another one called on the main ones I want you to look into again. A contributor 2 lets you manage everything except access to the resource. I want you to look at reader. Reader was the main one I want you to. So yeah, so for reader, you can see you can view all resources, but does not allow you to make any changes. So those are role access control. Role-based access control. So they can it's just telling you what a particular person, a user, group of service principal can perform on a resource or in a subscription at a given period of time. Now, we now want to talk about the scope. What I mean by scope is that where can you apply role-based access control? You can apply role-based access control in management group. You can apply it in subscription. You can apply it in resource group, and you can apply it in the resource itself. So let me just explain what I just talking about now. Let's go to management group. So while this is loading, I don't know how fast it will. So while this is loading, let me just talk about subscription, for instance. So on a subscription level, you have access control. You can see, meaning that I can give an access control on a subscription level. You get it? I can say, okay, I want to assign roles. I want to assign this to this subscription. So person, Mr. A, for instance, I want to assign Mr. A access to this subscription. So let me give you, for instance, I want to assign myself. I want to look at, for instance, I was assigned, this is my name here. You can see it. I was assigned the user. The user was assigned the role of owner to the subscription. Can you see it? You have some other people that were assigned contributors to this particular subscription. But me as a person, I'm assigned a owner. Olaiton was assigned a owner role. Do you understand? But you have some people that are assigned contributors. After it, you can now say, okay, some people, I just want them to just be readers in this subscription. They should not edit anything. They should just come here, view things, see how things are being done, and move on with their life. I can assign that kind of person a reader role in this subscription. You get it? So that is based on subscription access. So I want to see if I can view, show you for management group, management groups. So you can assign role also in management group based on the view and the documentation. You can assign roles also on resource group. For instance, let me pick a resource group here. Okay, this resource group TF state. I can assign role. You can see it. I can assign role on this resource group. I can give you a permission as a contributor to this particular resource group. That means anything that is done in this resource group, you can create, delete, and do things on that resource group. The only thing you can do as a contributor is to add users to that resource group. So that's on the resource group level, and also on the resource level, which I explained earlier on when I was using the storage accounts as an explanation for it. So I've been able to show you guys role-based access control and how it's being used and the importance of it. One key point I want you guys to pick out of these points is that in role-based access control, what are you allowed to do and where are you allowed to do it is important. You give a user the least access a user needs. What do I mean by that? Mr. A just joined my company today. I can't give Mr. A owner access to my resources because he just joined today. If Mr. A go and delete something mistakenly, how do I want to explain myself? I will give him the least access he actually needs to perform his job function as of today. I just want Mr. A to be able to see our resources, give him a reader access. Maybe 2 weeks or 3 months later, Mr. A is conversant with the environment and he wants to work on virtual machine. I can also, okay, give him a virtual machine contributor access. So he can now work on that virtual machine. Maybe 1 year later, Mr. A has become the head of the whole team and is very good. I can say, okay, he's working on team Mercury. Give him, and we have Mercury resource group. Give him owner access to that resource group or give him a contributor access to that resource group. Is that means he can mainly do his web functions and everything on Mercury resource group. Maybe 2 years later, Mr. A has become the CTO. I can now give him access to the whole subscription. So he can now decide if he wants to delete anything, he can delete anything based on his wish. You understand? But at that time, he knows what should be done and what not to be done. You understand? So you give him the least privilege he needs to perform his job function. That is what RBAC is really all about. So